Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Trade and Trade. Let me encourage you if you want to follow along with the information presented here, make sure you go to dtitrader.com/telegram, get involved with the TNT channel. And of course, you can review presentations done through this and many others here at DTI through our YouTube channel, dtitrader.com/YouTube. Like to welcome in the YouTube audience. They're joining us this morning. Good to see everybody. And let's go ahead and get things started here with a little bit of a risk disclaimer. There is a very high degree of risk involved in trading. DTI Trader and all individuals affiliated with this site assume no responsibility for your trading and investment results. At the end of the day, you and you alone are responsible for the trading decisions you make, so make them with care. Now, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results, and I think that kind of covers our risk. So, news shaping the market today, it is the FOMC and it is earnings. And it is really that simple. The first part of the day, we're going to be building up to the FOMC release, which will occur while we're in the middle of live trading later today at 2 p.m. Eastern. There will, of course, be a press conference with that FOMC, and that will take us into the last hour of the cash market today. Now, after that last hour, there's going to be an earnings focus, and we've got three of the Mag 7 reporting. Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla all report this afternoon, and tomorrow we get earnings from Apple. So we're going to really be kind of focused in on what these particular stocks are up to. But before we get to them, we're going to focus in on the FOMC and see how that affects the markets moving forward. And I'll give you a lot more detail on the FOMC later today as we prep for that with the live trading event. But for now, let's see if we can get Tom's opinion on the current market. What do you think, Tom?
I think today is a very interesting day because you got a lot of news that's going to shake, rattle, and roll. If you look at the market, it's really in a noise zone. I had a pivot number of 70.25. We went as high on the E-mini to 70.43. That's a good spot to top out at 70.45. I put that number. People in my TNT will cover it in a little bit. That was my resistance number this morning. Went right to it. But right now, I would keep the hands off the mouse. The only kind of trades I would do right now would be like a silver wheel trade or something like that. I just got through helping a customer put on a new wheel, and it really became clear how simple it was to do the silver wheel. So we'll get all that straightened out. And my opinion, we're going higher. You got a lot of positive news hitting. I would expect after we get through Powell's talk this afternoon. Now, Powell's talk historically, Chuck, I think we figured out 10 out of the last 11 times the market sells off, but it's been recovering a lot faster because they know he doesn't have long to go. And I think a lot of people that trade recognize that. So this morning they probably took some profit on the first upswing, but it's still I think it's a very positive market. I'm looking at, MU, which we bought yesterday during live trading, is looking great. So things are pretty good. Things are real good. We just gotta slowly navigate through what's going. Okay, and that's my opinion, Chuck. Train and trade, 11 o'clock. Now, reminder, if we do any trades in here today, we'll put it in our T-Buzz Talk and Trade, which is really our short-term way for me to communicate with you. And you go to dtitrader.com/TNT, get signed up. It's $200 a month. It probably, people tell me it should be a lot more, but they're people that I get to know after they get a full value out of it, okay? And Buck said, my opinion is worth its weight in gold. I like that, Buck. A typical day in TT. Let's look at what I posted today where everybody can see. And I'll just take you through my thought process. Generally speaking, everybody needs to know I get up about 5 o'clock in the morning. The first thing I do is look at my roadmap custom page. If I look at my custom page, look over there at E-mini. Notice that midpoint there, 70.26. This morning I used 70.25 as my pivot number because the market had looked fairly decent to me overnight. And that's the midpoint I used. But you come down through the Seven Sisters, notice that TLT is a little weak. That's for the anchor trade. Bonds are a little weak. You got the Fed meeting. I come on down. AMD's got some strength. NVIDIA showed a lot of strength and got my attention at 191.50. MU, a stock that we bought yesterday, okay, has done real well, hadn't it? We did that in live trading. That was MU. Tesla, I think Tesla, they said today SpaceX is going public in June. If that happens, Tesla should, regardless of all the issues Tesla, the stock has, because of the ownership and everything else, Tesla's going to go up, in my opinion, but it's got to get above the 3-day algo for me to get serious. And the 3-day algo means the 3-day high for the month you're in. And Jonathan, what was the 3-day high for Tesla this month?
Let me see here, Tom. Let me see here. 3-day high for Tesla. That would be 458.34. 458.34.
Say that again. Will you type that in the chat? What'd you say? Will you set an alert for me? That lets me know if it goes higher than that number, I'll start focusing on Tesla trades. Gets above 458.34. Okay? Perfect. Anyway, I look at this, I give you the overflow. You can see, looking at the general greens versus reds here, the market's got a positive day going. Does everybody see how I just look at it? I look at it that way. Russell looks good. I look for opportunities for my 5 stocks I'm going to play today, but that pretty well lays it out. Notice that you've got the QQQ, the NASDAQ strong, SPY strong, stuff like that. Okay, that's the first thing I post, that picture. Now here is the value proposition, what I post next. I call this my magic 5. Look what I posted. I said, MU goes above, those are pivot numbers. I said, if it goes above 432.55, I'd be a buyer. SLV above 102.55, I'd be a buyer. Gold above 485.55, I would be a buyer. Options or something like that. NVIDIA above 192.55, I would be a buyer. KGC, a stock I bought, if you'd been with me, you'd bought it with me about $5 a share. I'm still buying it at certain times, 38.55. Heavily weighted in metals, but I threw NVIDIA in there, showed I'm looking for if Meta, Microsoft, and Apple come out with decent earnings, these stocks will go up. That's why I'm playing these stocks today. This is the magic 5. This is the value proposition. And Jonathan, remind me, we are to do how to use Delta to take advantage of the magic 5. We ought to do something on that. Maybe we ought to do that tomorrow, okay? Here in Train and Trade. Off the magic 5. That sounds like something we could do tomorrow?
Sounds great to me. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we'll look at the postings tomorrow, and I'll show you how I would use Delta. Anywhere from Delta 50 down to Delta 10 with what I'll post tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to post tomorrow. I'll find out at 5 o'clock in the morning. How many people been in Train and Trade love the value of me doing it this way? Straight to the point, isn't it? Once you really get in the cycle, it's good. The reason I posted early, because I don't know what time you get out of bed, but it gives you a chance to know thinking that I have for that day, and my thinking is usually pretty accurate that we post in there. And I say that about 4 out of 5 times I'm right, but it should help you make money using these numbers and everything. All right, that's the magic 5. What I do next? The pivot number. Now notice I got a pivot number of 70.25. The market is 70.12. Would I be, on a typical day, would I be buying anything right now if I'm below? This takes precedent. I got to be above that number to use those other numbers. They work hand in hand together. Okay? That's the daily pivot. This is a number you don't want to come into a trade day without. That there is the futures contract for 70.25. Now here's where I post my resistance and support from early in the morning. Does everybody see on the E-mini where I gave you a resistance and support number? 70.45. Does everybody see that? And we went up to 70.43. We update this throughout the day in Train and Trade. Chuck and John keep this updated, but we start out, I do the one that starts out in the morning. Okay? Now this is interesting to me. Go down and look at MU. MU is at 435. If you were doing a Delta 50 and MU got to 435 and the S&P was way below 70.45, but above 70.25, you might squeeze that baby. You see how to use this? This is my best take in the morning. I mean, if you were sitting right here, I would be telling you the same thing face to face. Okay? All right, that is the money maker. This is the last thing I post every morning. I like to survey the news out there and see if there's anything that's getting my attention. If I look through the trending analysis, I look down there at Micron. Everybody see Micron being highlighted? Out of all the stocks in the world, it was highlighted on the trending analysis. So obviously, it's got volume and attention. On the right-hand side, okay, they're talking about some stocks I probably don't trade, but big stock movers, TXN, Qorvo, stuff like that. Job cuts. Everybody see ASML, okay? Everybody see ASML. I don't trade that stock per se, but if I did, that's very bullish news. Number one, they're going to make more money if they don't have the jobs, right, to replace them with robots or whatever and all that. But here's the big news down on the right about Tesla. SpaceX targets June IPO. That's a 10x valuation. That means people that got in on SpaceX in the early days paid $250 million, and it's going to come public, they say, in about 1.5, maybe more. So if I own Tesla privately, which I do a little bit of it, not enough, I bought on an IPO or pre-IPO, it's going to be worth 10 times the money I put in. That's how you calculate. Any questions about that? Anybody else here have SpaceX privately? See if anybody out of the group. Rob J's got it. He'll be having a good June. Jim's got it. Wow. Carol, they haven't established the ticker yet, but they will. Rhonda's got it. The IPO will come in June. The IPO will come in June. Junior's got a small portion. Yeah, see, smart people here. I mean, this is a long-term play, folks. They've been in it a lot of years because they came, when it was valued at $250 million. Dick, you have to get it, you have to have contact. I tell you, Rob's got a great guy that gives him IPOs. Rob, I don't know if you feel comfortable about sharing that name, get him some business if he wants it. These people would probably like that. Or the other thing you could do, if you want, it might be easier, put your name and phone number, and Rob will give it to the guy and he'll call you. That's the easy way to do it. Name and phone number. I'll be quiet for a second. Somebody wants to talk to Rob's guy. Rob's guy, I talked to him myself. He came to a one-on-one. I talked to him myself. I think the guy's pretty sharp. My initial impression. You know, John would like a call. Frank would like a call. Dick would like a call. Jonathan, would you help? Yeah, there you go. Would you help Rob have those numbers for people? Send me a copy of it too, if you don't mind. Let me know. Hey, Alfonso. Rob, tell him I expect to get a free lunch out of this referral. Yeah, put your phone number in there if you're interested. Goodness gracious. Rob, he ought to give you a referral fee. Look at that. Goodness gracious. Keep in mind, high risk investing in IPOs. Very high risk. You got to do a lot of soul searching because that money might be tied up for years, right, Rob? And you hadn't won on all of them, that's for sure. Okay, I put this summary in there. Market seeking new highs, metal market solid. That's what I said. I didn't see anything giving me big warning signs in the metal market, and I think we're going to go higher. Hey, Marianne, she was on a one-on-one. A lot of these people I see post a name and spent some one-on-one time with me. We don't BS about stuff, do we? All right, this is a very important thing Chuck puts in TNT. These are the reference bars. Let me tell you how I use it. I would, as a new trader, I'd probably print this off and have it on a clipboard. But if you look at reference bar 1, notice reference bar 1 had an opening of 70.10. Okay, 70.10. That's the way we started today. Notice reference bar 2 had 70.28. So right now we're slightly below both those numbers. Reference bar 3 had an opening 70.22. The high reference bar for the day so far is 70.30. So what that tells me, for the market to go higher, it's got to get above that 70.30. And he's got it highlighted there. You can see it. Rob says, I want everybody to know I'm not recommending or benefiting. Great disclaimer. I didn't realize it had that many people interested. Did you, Rob? I just was mentioning it out of courtesy because of SpaceX, you know, and that's very, very interesting. Now, this is done about 7 in the morning. This is my T-Buzz TV, 70-25 pivot, Fed day, and I said, pay attention. Pretty straight to the point. I won't go on it. Let me just tell you about my T-Buzz TV. I could talk for 20 minutes, but I'm sitting there thinking about you. I wouldn't listen to something for 20 minutes. Don't you like the way I do it within 2 minutes, give you all the key information? It's sort of like an executive summary of the day. That's about the length of, if I talk more than 2 minutes, I got a lot to say. It's usually 2.5 or 3, okay? This is a daily rundown. This is where, Chuck, what do you, if you were new, what would you tell them to take out of this? What would be the most important thing, given 1 or 2 things you would think this is what they need to get off this right here?
On the daily rundown, I think the biggest thing, you're going to be getting a lot of this from other places like the T-Buzz TV, that TNT channel, the Magic 5. Um, Major events, I think, are kind of important to know, not just what's coming up now, but what's coming up next. So, in addition to the FOMC statement and earnings, we got core PPI on Friday, so you get that. For me personally, the numbers ladder, I think that's where everything kind of comes together. You got that pivot that you gave us, Tom, at 70-25. We've got 43 is the current all-time high. I think you used 45. 69, 71.50 is the low of the week. That's really where the market is bracketed right now. Now, what's above that, we're kind of guessing 7,100, 7,150, 7,200 makes sense. Below that, you have a couple of big numbers from last week, 68.79, and last week's low at 68.14.50, and the big downside target, that fourth quarter open at 67.25.50. So you don't always need to know where the numbers come from, but I think it's a good idea to have, something that you can go to get those numbers. So personally, that would be the biggest part of the daily rundown for me.
Yeah, what I use it for, and that's interesting because I guess the numbers come second. The ladder is very important, the way he does it with the bold print. But I use it for, I try to look at the major events. He's got the FOMC statement. I know Powell's going to talk at 2:30. He's got an axe to grind. It's not going to be positive, and the market probably will go down a little bit because most people listen to that. And I'm selling because Powell said that if something, something negative. They always look at anything he says. And the reason I say that, not that I dislike Powell, it's just the fact the way he delivers. 10 out of 11 Fed meetings, market's going down. That's what the numbers tell me. So it's not no axe to grind here. It's just what the market does when the guy talks. Sometimes he talks so long, people just sell for that reason. But anyway, we know the event starts at 2:30. You got to be aware of that. Okay, that's what I get out of it. And then the earnings is going to probably change things either tonight or tomorrow. So anyway, that's a great thing to be in TNT. Good job, Chuck. Now this, if I do a trade over in TNT, I developed this myself. I will put out a ticker. You can see there on January 23rd, taking profit on a trade that expired February the 20th. It was a spread, a $3 spread. We paid, I think, I don't know, my guess somewhere around $1.10, $1.15 for it, and sold it for $1.60. I don't think anybody that stays with me over 6 months in TNT has ever paid for it. Not unless they just want to take everything and fade me. There's a whole cemetery of people that's done that. Always say that. There's no cemetery. I'm just making that up. Anyway. All right. But I try to give you information. If you learn what I give you to use it, it's pretty valuable. I really believe in educating yourself. Now, MU. Who was in live trading when I did the MU trade yesterday? We did a 410, 415 spread. Was it worth being in a live trade just for that one trade? I think so. Yeah, gold trade the previous day. Yeah. That's a buy signal on MU. It's going a lot higher. I could show you that, how I know that to be a fact, by showing the option chain. Options expire Friday of this week. We'll do that if we go live. Okay, let's go to Seven Sisters on the roadmap. Here's a chance to do that. Okay, John, before we do that, bring up I want to show in that before I forget about it, MU. Bring me up an option chain and let's focus on Friday's expiration strikes. I want to show you why I think it's going fast.
Okay. Should be seeing option chain for Micron 2 days out Friday.
All right, the current price is what, 430?
Yep.
All right, read me the 445 call price for
It's about $6.50. 445 strike call.
You got to go to get there. You got to go 15 points plus 6. You got to go up 21 points. It's selling for 685. That's telling me MU's going higher. All right, going down, go even higher. Go up to 475. This is crazy stuff, but go up to 475. These expire Friday.
Yeah, about $1.25 for the 475.
$1.25. It's what is it out of the money? 45 points. That means the average true range, just do the math on it. The average true range for MU is 22 points. Okay, if it had an average day today, an average day tomorrow, all straight up, and an average day to go up 60 points, right? So 60 points. That's crazy. That's just crazy stuff. But that's why I went long. I looked at the option chain, I looked at what it had done, and that's why. But I look at that option chain because usually the option chain is your best reader. Now let me teach you one other thing. Go to 430, Jonathan. Tell me what the call and puts are right there.
The call's about 13. The put's about 12. So, round it off, 25 points.
That's probably 25 point range, maybe up 25, 55, 455. Okay. You take that and sort of have an estimate of what the market makers are saying. 55, 455, and it could drop. You got to look at it both ways. Go down to 385. Okay. Another way, compare, if you went down 2.5 points, what's the put on if you go down 2.5 points? What's the price if you go down 2.5 points from 430?
2.5 points down. The price of the put is about $11.50.
All right, go up 2.5, 432.5.
About the same thing. Pretty close to the same price. 11.25 for the call. 11.20 for the put.
Yeah, it's basically saying that those options way up there probably are out of sight. A little bit of over optimism. That's what it tells me. Anyway, just wanted to show you that, let you learn it, something to look at and know about the option chain. All right, let's go back to the live market with the roadmap. About middle range, Jonathan, on MU. You want to do E-mini?
Came back down to your pivot from yesterday, 7,007.
Yeah, sure is. Just holding there on Genesis, isn't it? Now, notice that RB3 has a high of 79.31 and the market is trading down to 7,007. So two things are going to happen. This is going to be a low and it's going to trade back up, or it's going to be a continuation move. I don't know what the answer is. I will give it enough time. continuation move means it continues on down. If we go down, we probably will see that target of 69.80 area if it keeps falling. If we go up, we're going to run into resistance up there at the highs of the day. That's the way I read D-mini. NASDAQ, please. Okay. Everything looks the same to me. Dow. This has been messed up because you had a couple of Dow stocks like United Health and everything playing with the numbers. Dow's a little stronger because it's come off those lows. Everything else was marked down. Okay. Crude oil. Above 60.50 in January, crude's going to trade up a little bit. And that's what it's been doing. See where it is today. Using March contract, yeah, about 62.90. Okay. How about gold? Everybody's interested in gold. We're using April now, right? What Chuck said, April gold. Gold's pushing the high of its reference bar there. That's interesting. Okay. Brian, I'll get to your question in a little bit. Okay. Silver. About middle of the road, which is perfect if you got a wheel going, right? Jonathan, what is our day's expiration on silver? Do we close that out, or what do we do on the one that expires down on our first play there?
Yeah, closed it out at penny or penny or two.
Are you telling me that our very first silver wheel class we put on 3 trades, the one that expires today, what did we sell it for?
12 or 13 cents, I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay, minimum 12. If you had 10, that's 120. If you had 20 at 240, you should get the math on this, folks. Who is smiling in the silver wheel class? You will, Peg. Make it a good to cancel order, Peg. You'll get out and you get your 1,500. Carrie smiling. Carrie, I got to call you today. Harold smiling. Do you see why I was so excited to teach you the silver wheel? And I'm going to come to Brian's question. He said, Tom, am I going to forget about you after 30 days? No. My desire is to spend this time with you and get it as a routine thing that everybody in the wheel can do, where we can pop in there and update you as the wheel rolls on. Okay, that's my plan. Everybody understand that? I'm doing a lot of training each day in there to make sure I get everybody up to speed where they know what they're doing, when to get in, when to get out, and that kind of stuff. Okay? When to put another wheel on. Way to go, Jim. I love these kind of sets. I told somebody, okay? If you trade options, this has got to be an integral part. Who trades options here? Anybody trade options here? Jonathan, do a poll. Option traders here. Who trades options? Let's do a poll. Tell me how many people in this large group of people that are option players.
Options, yes or no? Poll coming up. All right, the poll is live. Answer yes or answer no.
While y'all doing that, Peg, put your number there. I'll be glad to give you a call. Let me give you a call. Polly, aren't I doing good enough? I'm asking Polly wants me to trade copper. I said, Polly, I'm putting money in the best return right now, and that's silver. I'll go to copper when it becomes number one, but right now, silver is where my money's going. I'm focusing on silver. It's enough to focus on. You don't have to, maybe an MU on the side or NVIDIA on the side, but this silver is just, it's just too good. It's a historic market. I want everybody here to get a piece of it, piece of that American silver pie. How many people trade options that are here, Jonathan?
About 96% of everyone here
Okay.
is trading options.
96%. So here's my message to all of you. If you're not in the silver wheel, you're crazy. And I mean that directly. I've been trading options for 40 years. This is the best trade for everybody that trades options. It's out there. You can learn it. You can do it. You don't need a giant account to build your account from. You need to do it. Okay? That's my opinion. My next target is 145, JP, on silver. He asked me what my target on silver was. Peg says she's already paid for the silver wheel over 2x. That's just the first 2 days. That's pretty strong, isn't it? All right, let's keep going. Put bonds in there. That's bonds are a little bearish. We had to check anchor today. Rob, yes, but I'll do it between 1 and 115 today. I'll do another one. Remember, I close out before 12. That's why I meet with everybody at 1 to 115. I put on a new one there to keep the wheel rolling. This afternoon, 1 to 115. So we closed out one wheel, so I will go out and do another one after that. Okay.
And as Tom just said, he'll be live again today at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, anybody that's got any hesitation about doing this, let me know. I want you to be part of what I believe will be your most successful trade this year. And I'll be live back at 1. Now, those people that Jonathan captured the names on, Jonathan, send me an email with their names and numbers. I'm going to call you myself just to give you my take on IPOs because I don't want anybody to go hog wild, you know. So I'm going to call and do a cautionary call to you just to let you know. So you'll be getting a call from me just to bring caution to it. They're great when they hit, but they do suck up your money when they don't. You really understand the word risk when you start trading pre-IPOs. Everybody talk, it's like fishing. Anybody know a fisherman that ever told you about how many times he went out there and didn't catch any fish? Okay. They always tell you about that big fish they caught, right? Yeah, Jim, they'll add it. John, will you add him to it and send it to me? I'll be talking to you probably Friday. Now, Wendy, I'm gonna call you right now. Wendy, are you here? See if Wendy's, okay. As soon as I quit talking, I'm gonna call you. Why not I do that? Why not take that much time to pick up the phone and call you? I think I'm the only one that does it. The reason I do it is I like to get to know who I'm talking to. And I can do it in a phone call. Made a lot of friends over the years doing that one thing. No sense stopping now, right? All right, so let's listen to Silver Wheel, get the full story. I'll be back at 1 with a new trade,